I want to lead with this quote from Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime, Stories from a South African Childhood. He says, "The way my mother always explained it, the traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with subservient women. He's attracted to independent women. He's like an exotic bird collector," she said. "He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage." And that is where we're starting, because there has been quite a bit of discourse on multiple social media platforms about conservative men, traditional men, really wanting to get one of those independent women, one of those feminist women, one of those liberal women, take them, grab them, and smush them into the figure that he wants versus getting the woman that he actually wants, a traditional woman. Because it's about taking somebody and then like taming them or capturing them, and then basically taking them from a vibrant creature and sucking the life force out of them. So I'm starting with that. Now let's jump into this post. Okay, so this woman made this comment, Flowers and Skull cosplay author. She says, "I rejoined Bumble just to see how oblivious or obstinate these conservative men are. This is my profile picture. I intentionally put the text over my boobs to really make sure they looked. Want to take a guess on who is consistently in my likes?" And she says, "Swipe left if you're a conservative, a Trumper, cops, evangelicals, Christians, swipe left. Swipe left." That is what she put right there on her boobs. You could see she is looking quite liberal in this picture. Got her cleavage all out. This is not a modest woman. And then she says, "First of all, can you not read? Second of all, why the hell would I match with you when you don't take a pre-established no as an answer?" And then she starts giving all of these profiles that are liking her pages. I'm not judging these people's profiles. This is not one of my dating profile videos. But what I've noticed with all of these men that she posted, they all seem to have no kids and they're single at their big ages. So this is Nicholas, who's 30. Now, 30 is not that old, but there is a thing with these men that are liking her posts. All right, so this man doesn't have kids. He's Catholic and conservative. All right, so that's Nicholas. That's one that doesn't have kids and who's conservative. This is Dennis. He's 42, no kids. He's conservative as well. He's open to kids. It's like these people start to get it in their brain like, snap, there was something that I forgot to do. So he is 42, thinking about having kids. Alan, 36, doesn't have kids. He's Christian and conservative as well. Matthew, 43, he doesn't have kids. He's a Christian and a conservative as well. Here we go. We have Zach, 32. He does want kids. He's a Christian and a conservative as well. I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously, they're all going to be conservative because that was the point of her post. But a lot of these dudes don't have kids. They're single and they're still looking. But obviously, they haven't been likable enough up until this point. And I do believe that there's a shift in the dating atmosphere where these dudes are starting to get a little bit more desperate for a wife and kids, whereas women are like, I'm kind of good. But that is what I have been seeing. I'm not sure what you have been seeing on your end, but it definitely seems like men are just a little bit more pressed than the women are. But go ahead and chime in on that part. And like I said, multiple people have been talking about this exact same phenomenon on different social media platforms. Different women are noticing this. So it's definitely something, some discourse that is going on. So, and Kelly Reed says, "Can someone explain to me why conservative men insist on matching with liberal women? We are diametrically opposed in so many ways. Someone explain this to me like I'm 5. I am begging." Capital Stitch Co. says, "Conservative women expect conservative men to live up to the impossible standards of their shared worldview. Hypermasculinity, the sole breadwinner, never show emotion, provide for a lot of kids, etc. If a conservative man can convince a liberal woman to love them, they'll be able to take advantage of the fact that she doesn't believe in any of the tenets of a conservative relationship without having to do any of the inner work to unlearn the worldview he feels constricted by." Thriving Out of Spite says, I heard a self-proclaimed conservative guy say it's because dating conservative women is exhausting because they want men to have no feelings, do all the physical labor, earn all the money, etc. He felt that liberal women didn't have these expectations and the relationships felt more equal. I think many men do it because they want to cage an exotic bird, but that's just a personal theory. But that's the thing. That's the reason why the patriarchy hurts men and women. It hurts children. It hurts everybody because they are boxed into roles where they're not supposed to show emotion, where they're supposed to always be, stoic or extra like go-getters and competitive and all of that. Whereas, women these days, we have the opportunity to break out of these boxes and create the life we want. And these men still feel boxed into these traditional boxes. But if they were to get with a liberal woman, they can cosplay as one of these traditional people, but still have the benefits of having a woman that is working. He would still expect her to come home and play the traditional role and doing all of the housework, the childcare, and all of that, because he still expects to cosplay. He just doesn't want to be all of that for an actual conservative woman. Ms. Morte says, we're generally hotter both physically and mentally than conservative women. And obviously that's an opinion, but liberal women, feminist women, we dress how we want to. We're not boxed in. We're not acting like all we have to do is be modest and frumpy. But we can. But that's the thing. We could do what we want. We could dress how we want based on where we're going, how we're feeling for the day. We're not boxed into, trying to look like we're always about to go to Bible study. But Runner 1897 says, LOL, that's a huge lie. Servile, or this person at the bottom say, go suck, okay, Elon's, some more. Okay. That person is not going for it. I am so glad that so many different women are pretty much saying the same thing, because it says that women are onto their game. Because look, the Truthful G says it's because they want submissive providers. When they date conservative women, those women expect men to be in the traditional role, which they are too lazy to be in, and therefore they want to enjoy the benefits of equality without actually having to contribute. They also have some weird taming kink, like they're hunting us for domesticity. It's really sick and a deep psychological. We need to normalize therapy in men. And if they don't want to get therapy, if they don't want to unpack all of the harmful ways that these traditional roles put them in a box that harms them, then they need to continue to be lonely, because they're pushing away the women that actually believe in the things that they say that they believe in, to get women that don't and want to control those women or change those women. Regardless, is not going to end well for anybody that is in one of these relationships. Tom simply says, they're the weakest of the weak, morally deficient, and plain dense. I know we've talked about all of this before, and it's perfectly fine for us to continue to have these conversations, because these conversations need to go further and wider. Women need to be aware of what these people are doing, so that when they start to try to get with you, and then all of a sudden the mask falls off, and then they want you to not go for the promotion. They don't want you to interview with that spectacular job over there. They get upset that you got a promotion. They got upset because you're getting another certificate in something, or that you're getting some recognition. You'll see that they don't actually want you to be able to succeed. They want to bring you back. They want to push you down, because the way some of these people feel powerful is squashing the ambitions of a woman. And we need women to recognize this. And so we're going to continue to have these conversations, because this type of thing, it doesn't just happen with conservative men and liberal women. It happens all over the place, where these men go after women that they know that they're not into, but they want to mold and change into something else. All right, y'all, let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So I came across this post in the 2X chromosome subreddit. Hot off the press, is only 2 hours old. She says, why do guys want me to be a trad wife? Now, we have already discussed how I do believe that these conservative men, these traditional men, are going to have a hard time dating because the divergence of men and women, the gap in dating is getting bigger because women are getting more liberal and men are getting more conservative. And so I think that they're going to be having a harder time dating because women are opting out, especially because so many men voted to swipe away women's rights. So they're going to have such a challenging time dating in this political atmosphere. That's what I believe. And so we're probably going to see more and more of these types of conversations, and I am here for it. Make them lonelier. Okay, the post. She says, without exaggeration, every single guy that has shown explicit romantic interest in me has expressed somewhat to me, or I have found out that they have a thing for or want a traditional wife partner. Don't get me wrong, I'm flattered to receive attention, but it is very odd that this is a pattern. In spite of me openly expressing my interest in a variety of academic and political topics and stating my ambitions to work for the rest of my life and my passion for the industry I want to enter, they still pursue me with trad wife fantasies, most of them after getting to know me for a while, which doesn't make any sense as my life goals are not compatible with being a trad wife. I don't get it, and I don't want this. It feels dehumanizing when they keep pursuing a fantasy which I don't want to fulfill for them. I'm going to be even more explicit about my intentions to work in the future, but this leads me to ask, what about me might be attracting these sorts of men, and how do I stop it? I wonder if she started cosplaying as an actual conservative woman. I don't know. But let's see what the people in the comments say. Cool Papa says, there's a creepy undercurrent among trad husbands and wannabes of convincing ambitious, talented women to agree to the trad wife thing. I don't know if it's a feeling of winning or defeating feminism or some other awful toxic impulse, but somehow they get off on taming women. See the former ballerina in that New York Times or whatever it was article. It's effing gross. And the quote from Trevor Noah's book, the way my mother always explained it, the traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with subservient women. He's attracted to independent women. He's like an exotic bird collector, she said. He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage. Miso says, I've also heard the new trophy wife is not necessarily the most beautiful partner, but the one who gave up the most of their own dreams and accomplishments to support yours. After all, if you can get a Harvard lawyer to stop being a partner at a law firm to wipe your kid's rear end, that means you must be something even more important. Some people don't feel like they can rise up without pushing someone else down, which really explains a lot of the world right now. Your life coach says, it's such a lazy way to go about it. I stay right where I am, and if I can make other people look worse, then I look better by comparison, and I didn't have to do anything differently. Nacho says, taming, but also essentially owning them. Yes, owning, controlling, all of that. And that's the way they talk about us. Put us into submission, subservience, control, all of that. It's all about essentially owning a woman. They believe that they have a wife appliance and they can do what they want with that wife appliance. All right, it says these guys want to be their only source of finances, so it reduces the chances she will ever leave. Perky Zombie says, and a follow-up to this, they're losers. Being a trad husband is effing hard if done properly. You need to be an incredibly successful and competent person to make it a reality. These boys ain't it. So they think by claiming the title, it makes them think they look like they've actually accomplished something in their lives. Like I keep saying, they're cosplaying the patriarchy. Cool Papa says, this makes a lot of sense to me as well. They need someone smart and capable to figure out their life and make it comfortable for them. I love that so many different people are talking about this very same thing. Okay, Refrigerator says, I also think it's less about the woman and more about the status with other men. They just want an object to fill the wife-shaped hole. I think in the status hierarchy, it's wife, then stay-at-home wife, then trad wife. I worked with one guy who told me that explicitly. He wouldn't let his wife work even though he was showing up to his office in clothes with holes because they couldn't afford to buy more. Like, I guess it would be a knock against his pride and ego if the wife actually did have to go back into the workforce. Mother Way says, it's sick F's getting off on all the dreams they crush. It honestly makes my blood boil. Life is so hard, and dreams and ambitions are some of the few things that make it worth living. And these bastards get off on crushing them. But it reads true. They want the woman who dreams big so they can make her live small. Disgusting. Whew. And I am going to end it there. Like I said, these people are pretty much saying the same thing, and it is okay for us to continue to have these conversations because it's all about us knowing and understanding the patterns, talking about this on multiple platforms, in multiple communities and cultures, because I want us to live big, be big, and not reduce ourselves because these people who are cosplaying the patriarchy want to crush us into a wife-shaped hole just to fill a space to be of a status symbol to another man. Like, who cares? Who cares? But it's all about the cosplay. All right, let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Oh my goodness, I just got this sent to me. So here we have a non-traditional couple where a man is wanting some traditional benefits. So she posted this in the Am I the A-hole subreddit, short post. She says, am I the a-hole for giving the baby my last name? This is a woman writing this. She's 28, he's 30. She says, so here's the dilemma. Me and my boyfriend have been dating for 3 years, but we're not married. Moreover, he proclaims that he doesn't believe in formal marriage and says it's a scam for men. Recently, we've had an oops, and I got pregnant. And while it wasn't planned, we talked about children before and both wanted to be parents eventually. However, he wants to give the baby his last name. And I think that no ring equals baby gets my last name. Now he's saying that I'm holding the baby's name hostage and pressuring him into marriage and that I am an a-hole. So Reddit, am I? You're absolutely not an a-hole. And women, like literally, the whole thing about men getting to name the last name, that is an old tradition because back in the day, women and children were the property of men. And so this is something that we have been talking about more and more because we are deconstructing the patriarchy. Because in times past, it would have been just without question that you take the last name, the babies take the last name. It would be without question. These days, we're all deconstructing things that, like, why does this make sense? I'm doing all this work. My body's the one that's changing. This is my child. Yes, it's his child too, but I'm doing all the work. Why does he get to stamp his name on it? So absolutely not. I do not believe that she's the a-hole for thinking this way. But the crazy thing is, like I said early on, he wants that tradition. He wants to claim this child, but he doesn't want to actually do anything else that's in that traditional lane as well. All right, couple of short edits. First edit. Many people are proposing hyphenating as a solution, but both of our names are long and pretty difficult to spell, as is. A hyphenated last name will make the kids sound like some royalty, LOL. Edit number 2. Overwhelming majority of the responses here seem to be favoring giving the baby my last name. Thanks, guys. I'll stand my ground then. Good for you. Good for you. Let's look at a few of these comments. All right, let's look at some of these comments. 302 Cosgrove says he wants untraditional and you're giving it to him. It's not a hostage thing. Throwy says, if you ask me, having to be the ones to push out the babies and then having the babies named after them is a scam for women. Meatat says, yep, we give our blood to make a masterpiece, but let someone else's signature on. And then Mountain Moose says, stunning analogy. Evil Cold Queen says, not just that, but the very rare literal analogy. This person says, correct. I grew the baby. I'm the first author on this publication. I see the F Nord say, funny you should say that. First author is usually the person who got the grants, not the one who did the work. And to that, the OP says, I thought the last author is the one who got the grants, the lab, PI. The first author is the one who did the most work. The fact that they're keeping this going in this thread is hilarious. I see the F Nor says, my bad, misremembered. Wholesome Marriott says, yeah, that's a group project you should absolutely get credit for. Flair at the bottom says, group project that our partner barely really participated in after starting it and just checks up on it here and there. Honestly, we ought to tell the teachers, government, pastors, how the group project really went. I want more credit. Now, this person is being more serious, saying not the a-hole. As someone who did the opposite, let me tell you something about the consequences. Despite being very little involved, baby daddy could have taken our daughter out of the country, no questions asked. Me, I had to provide a birth certificate to prove that we're related. Just in case, I usually also had proof of sole custody with me, because you never know. Worse, baby daddy eventually got married, and even his wife could have taken our daughter out of the country, no questions asked, because the same family name. Me, still not. Where I'm from, changing a child's name is easy when or if you marry their father, but changing a child's name if you never get married is impossible. Germany is great that way. Sarcasm. Honestly, don't let your child have any family name you don't have. Never. Even if he doesn't believe in marriage, he shouldn't believe in passing on his name either. Also, how are you holding the baby's last name hostage? It's not like you're trying to blackmail him into marrying you. You're just stating that your child and you will share a family name, period, because it's you growing that little human. There we go. Let's put it out there how much work this is. It is, and we've talked about it, and women don't get enough credit for it, but we get all of the work lumped on us. We should have the opportunity to name our children how we want to. So this is a tradition that we need to continue to examine, especially as, like I said early on, we're deconstructing all of these traditions, the patriarchy, religion, the ownership factor that goes along with with you having to take his name or naming kids. Let's start to deconstruct and question all of these rituals that go along with ownership, because these men are not our owners. They're not demigods. They're not all of that. Anyways, join the conversation. So much to deconstruct, so much to talk about. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share.
Men. A little while ago, there was a controversy that kind of blew up where everyone was talking about how conservative men were lying in their dating profiles about either being a conservative or just straight up just being like, oh, I'm apolitical, but that just meant that they were secretly conservative. And everyone was like, why are you lying? Just go find yourself a self-hating pick-me and pick them. They're begging you to pick them. But the thing that I have not been able to stop thinking about is this video of a man that he posted where he explained why he did this. He explained that when he dates conservative women who are out and out conservative, they always expect him to be like the man of the house, and they expect him to constantly be hyper masculine, and they have these very traditional expectations for the men that they date. But when he was dating liberal women, he never had that sort of expectation for how he should feel or behave or act in the relationship, and he felt much better in those types of relationships. And yet he himself still considered himself to be a conservative. I find this fascinating. It's almost like homeboy ran smack into the point and just kept on running past it. Patriarchy hurts everybody. Misogyny also hurts men. It is insane to me that they don't realize this, even when they outright say it on the internet. I want to date liberal women, so I lie about my conservative views so that I don't date women who want me to be the alpha dude all the time. That's hello, ding 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 ding. A little while ago, there was a controversy that kind of blew up where everyone was